have more than one class in a Java file? So as of now, we wrote many Java programs. If you observe all Java files, I defined only one class. But now the question here, can we have more than one class? Can we define more than one class in Java file? The answer is yes, we can define more than one class as per our requirement, as per the application, or as per our project. We can define, yes, the answer is yes. Suppose if we define more than one class in a Java file, we will see now how do we have to save. We have already convention, right? What is the convention? The Java file name should be
Class
class name. But now I am telling now the question here, can we have more than one class? Suppose if a Java file contains more than one class, how can we save it? Because we are following some conventions. So Java file should be class name. But here in this context, if a Java file contains more than one class, how do we have to save that file? We will see now in the today's session. To understand this, I want to take a small example. Suppose assume I want to define a class, a rectangle, class rectangle. This is the class. In the class rectangle, if you think about the properties of the rectangle is having a length. So I am treating it as integer rather than float for simplicity. It is having, the rectangle is having a length, is a property. Similarly, it is also having width. I consider now these two, we call it as, our terminology, we call it as data members. Data members. What type of variable it is? We discussed so far 3 variables, right? What type of variable it is? Local instance variable, right? So remember all those things. So this is the data members. So I just consider the instance variable. I just created 2, whatever the properties of having that class, we declare them as instance variables or class variables. You know the difference between the instance variables and class variables. I'll leave about those things now. Now I consider them as instance variables. I will save now. Save. If you want to save this file, definitely I have to save it as the class name, right? So we have to follow the convention. The Java file name should be the class name. I will take some more time now. Okay, now I define the data members for this class. Similarly, I also want to define some methods. Remember, the length and width are the members for this class. Similarly, whatever you define method here, this is also a member to that class. Don't forget, length is a member, it is a data member. In the case of the method, that is also a member, but that is a method. Don't these are all the members for the class. So now I want to define a method. That method duties, the behavior is the function. The functionality of that method is it has to read the values for those data members. Assume we have already seen in the lab also. I want to define a method. You already know the syntax: public it won't return any value. Assume return type, I am considering it as void. The method name is our choice. I want to give some meaningful name, get data, because this method intention is to read the values for the data members. Get data. Can anyone tell now definition? Get data, it has to take two parameters, because whatever the parameter values we are calling, those values have to be assigned to the length and width. That is the idea. Int L, int one more integer W. How can we write now Java statements to assign these L and W values to the data members? That is length and width. Can anyone tell now how we can assign L and W to length and width? Is it necessary to create object again?
No, sir. Directly you can
Yeah,
length
yeah.
equal to
Yes. So see here, since the get data is also a member for this class, it is not required again to create an object. Even though it is an instance variable, it is not required, because like length and width, this is also a member. You can directly access the instance variables here in the member. Since that method is also member, you can directly access them. So length equal to L. Similarly, width equal to W. Yeah, now I have in my Java file, I have now one class. I want to define one more class. That is the question now. Can a Java file have more than one class? Yes, it can have more than one class. Now I want to define one more class. My idea here is I want to define one more class. The class name is I want to take it as a rectangle area. Remember, I am following conventions. Class name should start with the capital letter. Here also class name should start with the capital letter. Yeah, this is one more class. Now, if you observe here, this Java file contains two classes. This class is a rectangle. This class name is rectangle area. In this class, I want to define the main method. You already know one main method should be there. That is the starting point of execution. So I want to define now here main method, public static void main. You already know the syntax. It takes only one argument, that is array of strings, main method. Yeah, first question. Now the Java file contains two classes. This is rectangle class. This is rectangle area class. I want to save now Java file. If I want to save Java file, even not only two classes, it may contain n number of classes. Which class is having, you follow one convention here, which class is having main method, you have to save the Java file. That file name should be the class name which contains the main method. I am again repeating my words. Suppose if a Java file contains more than one class, not only two, more than two also, even 3, 4, 5, 6, n number of classes are there in a Java file, definitely one class should contain main method. That is the starting point of execution. So which class is having the main method, you make it as that class as public. I try to understand the convention. You make it as public and save the Java file with the name of the class which contains the main method. So in this scenario, How to save now? As per that convention, I have to give the name
Rectangle area.
rectangle area. I want to save in the demo. Extension not required. It will automatically take. So rectangle area. RECTANGLE. Save. I am again repeating the convention. If a Java file contains more than one class, you have to save that Java file with the name of the class that contains the main method. So you make it the public, that class, and save the Java file with the same name. So in this case, rectangle area. Yeah, the one point is clear now. We will see now. We'll continue our discussion. If you observe the class, if you observe this class, you can see here, you can observe clearly, you can see here, we are combining data members and member methods as a together as a single unit. Try to understand now. The class combines data members, I mean the properties, and the behavior, I mean the methods, together as a single unit. Did you observe now? Data members and methods together as a single unit. This property, as per the object oriented terminology, we call this mechanism, the way we combine the data members and the methods together as a single unit, we call that property, this is a technical term, try to understand, we call this property combining data members and the behaviors, I mean the methods, as a single unit. This property we call it as encapsulation. So you have to remember the terminology. The encapsulation, explain encapsulation in the sense that normally the class combines the data members and methods as a together as a single unit. We call that property, we call it as encapsulation. So that is the meaning of encapsulation. So this is the encapsulation. We can discuss some more advantages for encapsulation in the coming sessions slowly, but you have to be familiar with the term. The term is encapsulation. So combining data members and behaviors, I mean the methods, together as a single unit. That property we call it as, that property belongs to object oriented paradigm. It won't be there in the structured programming like C. C won't, like in C doesn't contain this type of encapsulation, all those things. This is exactly the object oriented terminology. We can understand later the advantages of encapsulation. We will also see some more other properties for object oriented paradigm slowly in the coming sessions. Yeah, I'll leave about now encapsulation. We have defined now, this is a class, this is another class. Now my thought here, I want to create an object now. I want to create object for the rectangle. So what is the syntax now? I want to create an object for the rectangle. What is syntax? Syntax. Can anyone now tell? Creating an object for rectangle.
Rectangle rect equal to new rectangle.
Rectangle class name. The object name, that is your choice. I want to give some meaningful name, a rectangle 1, assume rect1. We have to call a special method to allocate space for that object. Now rectangle 1, we call it as object. So that is that special method we call it as constructor. constructor. This is object creation syntax. Now rectangle one object has been created. A rectangle one object has been created. Yeah, see now it is okay now. Now I want to now read values for the rectangle one properties. I mean rectangle one properties means length and width. I want to read values. How can we read values now for rectangle one?
Rect1 dot L.
You can access using rect1 dot not L, rect1 dot length. This L is different, that is method related. Rect1 dot length, rect1 dot width. So that is one way. Another way, already we defined method, right? We have already defined specifically a method to read values. So I want to call this method. How to call this method? Get data. Directly can we call get data?
rect1 dot get
Yes.
data.
Yeah, because you have to call with the object. See here how you are accessing this data members. Object name dot the property name, I mean the data member name. Similarly, see, it is an instance variable. Similarly, it is an instance method. This is instance variable. Similarly, it is an instance method. Both are members only. You are following the same syntax. So how you are accessing this length? Object name dot property name. Similarly, this you have to call this method object name dot method name. So object name here, rectangle one dot method name. Is it okay now? Is it okay?
In brackets, we can give the values.
Yes, because we define this method, it is taking now 2 arguments. Definitely you have to pass argument. If you don't pass arguments, if you see the prototype won't match, again the compiler throws an error, because this syntax is taking get data is the method name and it is taking 2 arguments. We are not passing any argument. A compiler throws an error. So we have to pass now 2 arguments. I am now passing length, my scenario, I want to give 100 as length, 10 is as the width of the rectangle one. Now rectangle one length will take 100, width will take 10. Okay, we will check now whether the length and width are taking as whatever, whether it takes 100 or 10 in this scenario. We will check by calling one more method. I want to define one more method. Public void. This method just displays the values for those data members, assume. I want to name it as some meaningful display data or print data. That is your choice. Method name is your choice, but try to give the descriptive names so that the program will be more readable. Print names, assume, or print data. Print data. Is it required again to pass parameters here?
Not required, sir.
Not required, because our goal is this method has to print the data member values. So it is not required. Can anyone tell the statements in the body?
String.
Method? System dot out. Why? Because it has to print. So we have to call system dot out dot print or println. Length. We can also directly access it. It is also a member for this class. See, this print data is a method defined in the class rectangle. So it is a member for the class rectangle. So it can access these data members directly, not required again object creation. How can we write? Length. Are you following, right? Similar way, how this method accessing the data members directly without any object. similar way. Similarly, I want to print the width value rather than length.
Sir, length spelling.
Sorry, LENGTH, width WIDTH. Yeah. Now we will save. I have not yet saved. Here you can see the star mark. Save. We will see now. We will execute and see the result. Then you can get confidence. Yeah. Save. For execution, I saved it in the CD drive new demo in the demo folder. CD dot. So drive new demo. So I am in now drive new demo. Clear the screen. So you can see here a rectangle area.java file has been created just now. I mean 11:36 just now in the today's date. We will now compile Java C rectangle area.java. Yeah, successfully compiled. The dot class file will be created. Java rectangle area. Why we didn't get output? Our goal is now it has to display the values, right? It has been executed successfully. We didn't get any errors. But my goal is now it has to print those values, right? What modifications we have to here? What modifications we have to?
Dot print data.
Yes, we have to call this method, then only we can see the output on the console. As of now, we have created an object. So rect1 object has been created. We assign the 110 to the properties of rect1, but we didn't call this method to print those values. So we have to call that method with the object rectangle1, I mean rect1 dot print data semicolon. I am again saving. Save. We will again clear the screen. Again recompile. Again compilation has been successful. Execution Java rectangle area. You have to follow the same class. Rectangle area, that is the class name. Java rectangle area. You can see now for the rectangle 1 related. This is rectangle 1 related. So rectangle 1 related length is 100. The width is 10. Similarly, if you create one more object, assume the same. I am creating now rectangle 2. This time I am assigning the values 200. Assume 20. Rectangle 2 dot print data. You can see this is for rectangle 1 related 110. Rectangle 2 related, you can see the 220. Before that, I will print some message here. System.out.println. This is in fact rectangle 1 related data. Rectangle 1 data. Similarly, rectangle 2 related data members.
Rectangle 2 get. Rectangle 2 get.
Yeah. Sorry. Rectangle 2 dot get data. Yeah. Save. go to command prompt, Java C, again recompile. We got success. Execute. This is in fact rectangle 1 related data. The length is 110. Rectangle 2 is another object for the same class. The class is here rectangle. So that data is length 200, width 20. Like this, you can create n number of objects. So you can assign the values. This is the way normally we have to write